Once upon a time, in a village nestled between snow-capped mountains and a frozen lake, lived a little girl who always wore a woolen scarf with sun motifs. The scarf had been a gift from her grandmother on her last birthday, a reminder to seek the warmth in every ray of sunshine. And the girl never forgot this lesson. Whenever the sun peeked through the clouds, she would spread her scarf wide to catch its warmth. But what the girl didn't know was that her scarf had a magical secret. It could absorb the warmth of the sun and store it in its soft wool fibers. This ability made the scarf incredibly cozy in the winter, allowing her to stay warm and happy even when the icy winds blew. The townspeople often saw the girl skipping through the snow, chasing the sun's rays and giggling as her scarf absorbed its warmth. They admired her sunny disposition and wondered about the mysterious scarf that allowed her to remain so cheerful in the freezing cold. Days turned into weeks, and as the winter progressed, the scarf continued to absorb more and more sunlight. The girl, unaware of the scarf's magical overload, continued her daily routine of chasing the sun. She loved how her scarf would feel when it was filled with the sun's warmth, like having a personal source of comfort around her neck. Little did she know that the scarf was reaching its maximum capacity, and the absorbed heat was beginning to affect the town in unusual ways. One day, as the girl chased the sun, she noticed something peculiar. A thin layer of frost had formed on the ground, and the temperature seemed to be dropping faster than usual. At first, she dismissed it as a particularly cold day, but as the hours passed, the frost spread, covering windowsills, rooftops, and tree branches. The girl, worried about her friends and neighbors, decided to return home and investigate. When she entered her house, she found her room unnaturally warm, much warmer than the rest of the town. Confused and concerned, she looked at her scarf, which was glowing faintly. Suddenly, she understood. Her scarf had absorbed so much sunlight that it was now stealing the warmth from the town. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the girl knew she had to act fast. She needed to return the stolen warmth before the entire town froze. But how? The answer came to her in a flash. She remembered the tales her grandmother used to tell her about the scarf's magical origins. The scarf threads were spun from the light of 1,000 suns, and as long as it remained in its woven form, it could contain the absorbed heat. But if she could unravel the scarf and release the light, the warmth would be returned to the town, and the scarf would reset, ready to absorb more sunlight. With newfound determination, the girl began to unravel her beloved scarf. As the threads came loose, the scarf's glow intensified, and the warmth began to flow back into the town. The girl, guided by instinct, started to hum a tune she had heard from her grandmother. The melody, which sounded like a lullaby, seemed to resonate with the scarf's magic. As the last thread came undone, the scarf glowed brightly, and the girl, shielding her eyes, watched as the warmth spread throughout the town, melting the frost and restoring balance to nature. The girl looked down to see that the scarf had transformed into a spool of vibrant rainbow thread. Each color shimmered with the captured essence of the sun. The girl, understanding that her scarf had absorbed too much sunlight and caused imbalance, felt a mix of relief and responsibility. She realized that with great abilities comes great responsibility, and that she should have been more mindful of her scarf's power. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the now warm town, the girl carefully wound the rainbow thread around the spool. With each loop, she felt a sense of peace, knowing that she had restored harmony to her town and its people. The next morning, the townspeople awoke to find the frost had vanished, and the sun shone brightly in a clear blue sky. They emerged from their homes, blinking in the sunlight and stretching their arms towards the warmth. The bitter cold of the previous day seemed like a distant memory. As the girl walked among them, the townspeople exchanged grateful smiles, their faces flushed with warmth. No one knew the peril they had been in, nor the young girl's role in averting disaster. Their only concern was for the strange rainbow spool carried by the girl who always wore a woolen scarf with sun motifs. It had become a symbol of their shared experience, a reminder of the warmth that had almost been lost, but was now returned thanks to the mysterious scarf. As the days grew longer and the sun's rays became more intense, the girl knew that she had to be extra cautious with her scarf. She promised herself that she would be more aware of its power and take responsibility for its actions. The scarf, now reset after returning the stolen warmth, was once again cozy and inviting. And as the girl wrapped it around her neck, she felt a renewed sense of connection with her grandmother and the magical legacy of the scarf. From that day on, the girl continued to chase the sun, but with a newfound respect for the scarf's abilities. She learned to appreciate the responsibility that came with its power and the importance of keeping the balance between humans and nature. The townspeople, though unaware of the scarf's true nature, continued to admire the girl's sunny disposition and the mysterious rainbow thread she carried. It became a local legend, a tale whispered in the evenings as the sun dipped below the horizon. And so, the little girl who always wore a woolen scarf with sun motifs became known throughout the land for her kindness, responsibility, and her unique connection to the sun and her magical scarf. The tale serves as a reminder for us all to be mindful of the world around us and the balance of nature, and to always remember the warmth of the sun, not just in our hearts but in our everyday lives.